evening, everyone. Welcome to the Manchester United agenda on Monday, the 3rd of something or other, the start of a new era. I'm delighted, as always, to be joined by Mr. B and OMONDI and tonight's very special guest, Stewart Ten Hag, or Stuart Marshall, as most of you know him. Mr. B, have you come down yet?
No. I haven't. I'm still buzzing. I've watched the game again, and I never rewatch games, but I've watched the game again when I came home today, and the feeling's still the same. I still get goosebumps. It's just better knowing that it's going to happen instead of sitting down there yesterday with my heart out here, knowing that it still gives you goosebumps. It's lovely, man. I haven't come down yet.
Yeah, and have you been a happy boy today? Like sunshine and flowers everywhere, nice to everyone.
Everybody got good morning, good evening. How are you? I held the door open for a couple of people. I even brought something upstairs. I never bring anything upstairs for anybody. I even brought it up 2 flights of stairs for the old dear. She offered me a £5. I said, no, keep it. I was on my way. I've had a beautiful day today.
That's lovely to hear. OMONDI, tell us about your weekend.
Yeah, busy weekend for me. Unfortunately, the one time I missed a game is a big game for that. And I'm gutted, absolutely gutted. So it's my mum's birthday today. It's my brother's birthday yesterday. So we had a party. It was like a great event at this car showroom, converted into a dance. It was really good night. Well, day went from 1. So I played football in the morning. We were 5-0 up. Sorry, we were 4-0 up. And then we were 5-2 up at half time. We ended up losing 12-5. I had to say to the ref, call it off with 5 minutes to go. So that was a bad start to my day. Went home with a headache. Then I went out. And then I saw the score, 1-0 up. I'm like, yeah, I was keeping an eye on the score, watching Mr. B and his reaction. And he's so animated, you know. And then we were 2-1 down. And then from that point, I was thinking, nah, man, this ain't going to work. And obviously, the rest is history. So I've caught up with the first half, seen the highlights, and just amazed by so many things that went on. I just want to say one thing, guys. Things can change so easily. I was looking at the first 2 goals, and I can say, oh, Bruno, should have gone down there for the goal or something. We could criticize, as we do on the channel. We do sort of go through things. It's eye test day, and I think, oh God, Bruno's going to get done for that by bath time. Bath time's going to point out A, B, and C about this goal. But instead, the theme of the show is rejoice, new era, and I'm delighted by that. So, but it's not about me. It's about Stuart Marshall today because he soaked up the atmosphere. He was there live, So I'm just I've seen the videos, everything, and some we can't post. But I'm just really from that beaming face of Stuart Marshall, a real fan.
Go on, Stuart. Tell us about your day out yesterday. Is it eventful?
Oh, yeah, I'm still recovering today, bath time. As you can tell by my voice, it's slowly coming back. I think I fell over about 10 times at the game. That was just when Ahmad got the winner. Everyone's obviously jumping on their seats, falling off, picking people up. Phones are flying everywhere. Unbelievable. But yeah, long day. Set out at 4:30 yesterday morning. Got in at 10-1 this morning.
4:30?
Yeah, I can't get up there early because I meet a lot of people and go and see some relatives up there, things like that. So I make a day out of it because obviously it was an 8-hour round trip yesterday, so made a day out of it.
Wow, what a day. Although, to be honest, I'm really interested in what OMONDI's football team managed to do in 45 minutes of football. How did you manage that?
Look, I don't want to say because in case people are watching, because here's the interest. We were winning. 2 of our strikers, Omar, big up Damien. They smashed it first half, scored some wonderful individual goals. Shock horror for this team who beat us 12-2 in pre-season a couple of years ago. In a different league, they're different level to us. And then they started coming back. And we weren't, what this thing about spacing and the eye test and keeping compact and narrow, I was just endorsing that. Just 2 simple rules. And at halftime, I got in and we were all delighted saying, well done, guys. All we need to do now is keep the structure, keep it compact and narrow. And what happened is they started scoring goals because we didn't do exactly that. So I'm on the sideline directing things. And it's like too much information. Then I'm getting told, "Oh, you tell us too much stuff to do." Oh, when they give the ball away, it's a bit proactive. You know, you give the ball away, and then you want to sort of moan at me because I'm saying, like, pass it there, pass it to the left back. They do something else. Then, oh, you give me too much information. That sort of thing. So it got really bad, and in the end, I sort of kept my mouth shut because goal after goal was flooding in. People playing roles on the patient side. People were playing positions like yesterday that they're not used to. So we've got a left winger, for example, playing in centre midfield. He likes to get the ball and dribble, so he's bombing on and leaving ourselves completely open. You know, looks like Man United in a way. Then we've got a goalkeeper playing at centre back, and and it's just all over the place. So it reminded me, there's a lot of parallels to what happened yesterday. Instead, Man United won playing with a makeshift side, whereas we got battered. This morning.
Right, let's do the comments whilst we digest that. Right, Andrew's here with some comments that I'm not going to show, but hello to you, Andrew. And we've got Bill Baggio. Yo, lads, Stewart, your singing was impeccable yesterday. As usual, I'll catch up tomorrow, boys. Have a great evening, and thank you very much, Bill. And we've got Anthony Herbert. Big up, lads. I was so happy with my twin on his watch along. He was so happy, lol. Are you his twin? Is that the joke?
Yeah. I'm gonna send you something.
Okay. And we've got Pranay. Hello, Pranay. Haven't seen you for a while. Big up, lads. My voice is gone too, and totally worth it. And then Anthony's wondering why you have a picture of Stewart behind you, Mr. B.
He's an idiot.
And straight away, everyone's a critic. Omondi, Andrew is blaming you for what went on the football. And Anthony is saying, "Did you get manager of the month after that game?" Are you getting fired as well from the team, Omondi? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. All right. So tonight we are not doing the eye test, as Omondi said, because yesterday's game was a work of art, and it is something that will live long in the memory. And I don't want to sit here and talk about channels and, you know, escape presses and things like it. There's enough beauty in what you saw. So Stuart, first of all, I want to start off with: is this like the best game at Old Trafford post Sir Alex Ferguson?
I'll probably say yes, half time. Yeah, I can't remember an atmosphere like that since probably 2008, the Champions League semi-final against Barcelona. But I even think, to be honest, yesterday's atmosphere was better. Obviously, the 9,000 Scousers helped with their contribution, but yeah, atmosphere was incredible. I don't know what it sounded like on telly, but being there was something else.
So, I mean, like, was it incredible from the start, or did it rather like the team just grow?
It was incredible from kickoff. I mean, I was right underneath the Liverpool fans, which is why my voice has gone even more, because obviously I was chanting and singing. I won't say what, but but yeah, obviously when Rashford equalised in extra time, that's when it just kicked on from there. And obviously, as you know, when the winner went in, that was it. It was just incredible.
Mr. B and Omondi, do we have a contender for game of the decade? Like, or is there another game that I'm missing out from, let's say, 2014?
Not a United game. I don't remember the last. I mean, maybe it's because it's been like a long time since you've had that, but I don't remember feeling like that. I've been on the channel for 3 years. Even winning the cup last year, I never felt like that. It was just, and this is a quarter final. You know, there's ways to win games, and there's ways to win games, man. And yeah, that's the way to win a game. And the fact that they're just so salty about it, I think I'm enjoying that even more. I know a lot of Liverpool fans. I haven't called them. I haven't done nothing. I think my silence is burning them more. I'm going to sit down and gloat to myself and gloat on the channel. I'm very, very contented in what they're doing at the moment, or what they did, not what they've been doing, but what they did.
All right. Yeah. One day, talk to me.
Yeah, I agree, Mr. B. I mean, like, I think if you're going to write a film script, like I was telling you the other day about Jason Statham beating up a megalodon and doing ridiculous like that, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They brought that script in. They say this is outrageous. This is ridiculous. This would never happen. And I think it's the same. If you would have scripted what would have happened yesterday, a poor Man United side going through hell at the moment, players that are on their face becoming heroes and running their hearts out. Marcus Rashford's missing like a goal would have taken us through in normal time and then going on to score again. The emotions have been up and down. It would have been the best film ever. A bit like Endgame, you know, one of those, or your favorite film, Game of Thrones. Not Game of Thrones. What?
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Epic. It's an epic like that. You couldn't make it up. And when I'm watching, obviously I didn't watch it, but when I'm seeing the script on my phone and seeing what's going on, what, Anthony? You know, I couldn't believe it. Anthony's come on and scored, and he's in his celebration, and he's really giving it out like that. I see McTominay making galloping runs like he's Alex Ferguson's horse, you know, at Cheltenham the other day. Unbelievable. You know, I don't know what they injected him with the horse with, but I'm sure McTominay's got some of that as well. It's just you couldn't make it up. And I'm telling you now, Hollywood scriptwriters would say, what, on their face, they turn it around to beat the enemy like that. Nah, that wouldn't happen, you know? And this is, I'm talking about scriptwriters that put out films like Megalodon and, you know, which is really not realistic. So it's amazing. It's amazing. Now, we're here. It's a celebration, bitches. It's a celebration. That's what we're here for today.
All right, but we're going to celebrate with the comments. And first of all, we got Rob. He says, "I know it's too early, but I feel like we will win it. It's our year." That's the most fan statement ever. I couldn't agree more, Rob. Lovely to see you're supporting Stewart with his picture as your profile. Andy is saying the FA Cup can still be the greatest for certain games when both teams want to win. And shout out as well to our opponents, Coventry, who another like all-time moment.
They were outstanding. Sorry, I'm just gonna say this. I watched their game. Didn't watch Man United. I watched their game Saturday afternoon. I think, who is this? Is this really a Premiership team? And they're the Championship team. They were brilliant. And there's a couple of players. I'm thinking, who's this guy? Amazing. Anyway, glad we got them, by the way.
Yeah, I hope we absolutely smash them. As they're also on my grudges not forgiving list for turning me down at 14. And we've also got Stephanie Griffiths who's saying big up BATHTIME, Mr. B, Stewart and OMONDI. She's given us the likes. Stephanie, just talk to us. Don't worry about the likes. Like just talk to us. We love having you here. Rob, like apparently I'm your secretary now, Stewart. Stewart, will you be going to the semi-final?
Certainly will.
There you go. And now this is a really good comment from Stephanie Griffiths, which is Juventus away comeback in '99. There's an expression which is that nostalgia is the worst form of loneliness. That when you remember the past, it's something that hurts you because it's gone. You can't get it anymore. But when I watched the game yesterday, I was thinking about Juventus quite a lot. And it was absolutely fantastic because I think that like we've got a game now as legendary as that. And I don't know, but PSG away, it never quite resonates with me as much as it seems to with other fans. But beating Liverpool at home, almost a year to the day when they beat us 7-0. I mean, Stewart, talk to me about this.
What? I don't want to talk about the 7-0 thing last time.
No.
I mean, to be honest, it could have been a cricket score yesterday. I mean, if we had 28 attempts on target, they had 23. No, sorry, 20. Yeah, 28. They had 23. It was just crazy. I mean, every time it was attacked, it was just back and forward, and you just thought there was going to be more goals. So yeah, I can't believe it was only 4-3, to be honest.
And can anyone remember United kind of like let off the leash like that for? I mean, certainly not under Van Gaal or Ollie or Mourinho.
Definitely not Mourinho. Definitely not Mourinho. There's no chance. I don't know. You know, you try and make logic of where players ended up playing, and just. I don't know if it totally threw Klopp and he couldn't understand what was going on. He totally bamboozled him. I mean, you were talking about Anthony, please, I want you to explain to me the Anthony situation.
The
now,
Anthony stuff.
Yeah.
All right. I'll finish the comments and I'll tell you about Anthony.
Yeah.
All right. We've got Pranay. He was on his shameless arc last night. Called and texted all my friends who support Liverpool. Nice. It's exactly what you need, isn't it? Like, you look at your phone, who's calling? It's Pranay. So rub it in. Rob, people say the players don't play for him, but they do. If they didn't, they wouldn't have reached the semi-final 2 years in a row. That's a great comment, Rob. And we're going to Omondi is going to drag us inevitably to an Eric Ten Hag discussion. So we'll save that for then. And I think that this is a really good point from Andrew as well. That man, Mark Robins, who is a crucial part of Manchester United history, is the manager. And Stewart, remind us who Mark Robins is in terms of our club.
Well, Mark Robins was the man who, well, a lot of people say saved Ferguson's job. Was it 1990, wasn't it? Forest away, third round FA Cup. Yeah, Mark Hughes to Robins, 1-0. Ferguson was going to get the sack before the game if they went out. And yeah, he didn't. Went on to win the FA Cup that year, and the rest is history, as they say.
I know, amazing. And now we got him Omondi in the semi-final. Do you think that he'll get a big reception at Wembley from our travelling fans?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, look, as Stuart was saying, for those who remember it, that was amazing. That's what made him. That's when you look at Mark Robins, it will always say that he saved Fergie's job. Now, it didn't really pan out like that necessarily, but we were on a hide into nothing. We weren't really doing much at the time, but we won the FA Cup. And then from that, winning that FA Cup, we got qualified for the Cup Winners' Cup. And from the Cup, we won the Cup Winners' Cup against the dream team of Barcelona, who the following year went on to win the Champions League at Wembley. You know, so there's so many significant points about Mark Robins, and especially in the FA Cup as well. It's really significant that now he's going to come to Wembley with a team. He's been managing for a long time. He's never really got a big job. But I'm saying this. I know I'm saying out of everyone in the draw, I'm happy to get Coventry. But I was really impressed with the way they played their football. So credit to Mark Robins. I don't know what he's been doing. He's been, Championship and below, managing for so long now. But fair play to him, because that's another Man United player under Alex Ferguson who's become a manager and just getting on with his job. And obviously he's got those fundamentals from the great man himself, because and added a great brand of football as well. So Coventry, for me, in '87 when they beat Spurs in the FA Cup final, that was an epic game. Keith Houchin, Dave Bennett, all these guys, Cyril Regis. It was underdog special. I just hope, as much as I'm glad we got them, I hope Mark Robins comes and has a lovely reception, and he has a little time with the BBC or ITV before the show talking about Man United, his connection there, and it ends there. Because we need to get to the final. We need to make up for last season. And we need to sort of say, Mark Robins, come on, do us a favour again. Save our club as he did in 1990.
Yeah, I'm hoping he has a performance like you did as manager yesterday, to be perfectly honest.
There you go.
You realise I'm hurting inside? It's a bit sensitive. Save the jokes for a couple of weeks' time, guys.
That's why it's funny. All right, now I wanna talk about Anthony, but I'm gonna preface it with a question first, and then we'll get to the Anthony stuff, so they'll link nicely together. There's been a lot of talk over the last season and a half about Bruno Fernandes' suitability to captain this football club. We saw him with one leg playing centre half for 15 or 20 minutes. He didn't get any attention from any medical staff. He was clearly hobbled and crippled, and he came through. So what I really want to ask is this a sort of a turning point for Bruno Fernandes to be seen as a real leader by both the fans and the players? And does anyone still think maybe he's not captain material? So I'll start off with you, Mr. B.
The only reason I think he's not captain material is because his form's dropped off a cliff. Half-time. If his form had continued how it was, then it wouldn't be an issue. Maybe the captaincy at Man United is that big that it takes. I mean, look, it sucked the life out of Maguire. He was never superb, but he's come back to a level that Man United fans are quite happy with. But Bruno's fallen off a cliff. I do think that he needs a rest. To be honest, I think if you play, he doesn't get injured. He plays every game. That's great, but at some stage, you do need a break. You know, so I'm glad he's captain because I don't think there was anybody else who would have been captain. I just think it's taken a lot out of him on the pitch. You know, I said I don't know what the captain does at Man United, whether they have to do this and do that, and it takes a lot of. But I just feel that maybe is an issue why his form's kind of dropped off. But in regards to him playing at centre back, I mean, when you mentioned it, if he had got treatment, he would have had to come off the pitch.
Yeah, him and McTominay both had to
and right, yeah. So they stayed on. So I mean, look, they've got international call-ups now. I would love them not to go. I would just love them both to stay because they can't. You know, the muscle injury, and then they're back, obviously, but they've stayed. They haven't had to go through the flying and to prove themselves or anything. But to a man, I think they all played like captains yesterday, even the ones who came on and played for 20, 25 minutes. So
that's a great point, Mr. B. But in terms of Bruno being a leader, do you think anything has changed based off his individual courage?
The person we'll have to ask is Andrew. If Andrew feels
you though,
I don't have a problem with Bruno being captain. So you know me, I like everybody. I like most of them, to be fair. Even the ones that people tend to not like, I like. So I don't have a problem. I think what it proved is that he is willing to put a lot more, say, his life on the line, but he's willing to put his physical well-being on the line for the club. And that's what I'm hoping people are seeing now with Bruno. Yeah, he's always going to waste the football. That's fine. He's always going to run around and, he's always going to have his arms in the air. But maybe he's a different kind of captain. And you're right. Maybe this is a turning point for him in particular, trying to turn around. You're never going to turn around all of the doubters. But if he's turned around, maybe 10% of the people who thought he was a fraud, then he's well on his way to doing something else.
Oh, whoops. All right, just before I get to you two gents, I've seen the greatest ever comment on the United agenda. So I'm just going to run the comments because I know I can tell both of you are bursting to speak about this. We got Rob saying, if we get to the final and get City, we actually need to go for it like we did against Liverpool, and we can't sit back all game. Emma K, shout out to Emma. He's been their manager for 7 years. This is Mark Robbins. That's good for him. And then Steph says we need to get revenge on City in the final. But the best comment I've ever seen is first we need to get revenge on Coventry for me. That's brilliant, completely true. Like, it was Alan Carr's dad who said no to me, the gappy camp comedian. Like, never watched it on telly. UK Stranger said Diego Dalot should be the next captain. Stephanie has said he's too chaotic, Bruno, to be captain. And I'm looking for Andrew. He about 2 minutes ago he put Bruno, and I'm expecting an essay to come in several parts. So we'll wait for that. But Stuart, let's continue with you in terms of Bruno's performance yesterday and being a Manchester United captain. Where have you been and where are you at the moment?
I mean, I've always loved Bruno. I think he's an incredible player. He really is. And what a lot of people, I mean, there's still a lot of debates there even yesterday, about he shouldn't be captain. He's always whinging. He's this, but what you don't see on TV and what you see at a game, his leadership qualities. He goes to every single player before the game. You don't feel this on TV bath time. Mm-hmm. During the game, he's praising the other players up. If someone, Anthony done a couple of things wrong when he came on yesterday. Bruno's the first one there. Get your chin up. Captain-wise, I think he is a captain, but he has got very, very good leadership qualities, which, like I said, a lot of people don't see on television. But it's just the only thing that really gets my back up is the whinging, like it does with everyone. I mean, he gets kicked, he goes down, he cries. Then all of a sudden, he don't get the free kick, he's back up again. I mean, we don't need that. If he could curb that, he would be up there with the best United captains, I think.
Oh shit!
What,
Wow.
Robson, Keane?
I said, if. No, Robson. No one's going to beat my Brian Robson. No way. Roy Keane. But obviously, it's silverware. Robson, we didn't win much silverware in the 80s, did we? But with Keane, we did. But yes, Bruno, and there's so many United fans who slag Bruno off, which I just don't understand. It's the whinging. That's what gets everyone's back up, isn't it?
Yeah, and I tend to whinge on a pitch quite a lot, and having sort of like my Latin temperament and ancestry,
you know what?
I do it quite a lot.
That doesn't BATHTIME. That doesn't surprise me. You saying that does not surprise me one bit.
Yeah, I got a dead leg yesterday off a very incompetent centre half, but he executed the dead leg with medical precision, like he was a surgeon, and I must have been crying for about 30 or 45 seconds, rolling around. I think I said that he needed to call up the UN and get them to veto me because I was about to do a war crime on him or something, and I did. I got him off because if you're a left footer, you've always got access to people's liver when people are backing up against you. Very naughty foul, but I'm not having that done to me. Omondi, you love a good body shot, but is Bruno? What are you like? Has he turned a corner? Do you think for people?
Just want to say, fantastic, Stuart, what you just mentioned there, because you go to the games, you're neutral. I know that you're just a passionate United fan. You say what you see, like Roy Walker. And you saw time and time again that he goes up to players, pats them on the back, jeers people up. These are leadership skills. This is something really good. I watched Simon Jordan's show. He had Paul Ince on the other day, the governor, and he asked him some really crucial questions about leadership and that sort of thing and what's going on at Man United at the moment. He compared, obviously, because Paul Ince went to Liverpool and he explained that situation. But he said about leadership and what's going on with Man United right now. And he said they lack leaders. And his definition of leaders are people like, he said when he went to Man United, there was Steve Bruce, Gary Pallister, Mark Hughes, and Brian Robson. And even though Brian Robson, he said, for example, Brian Robson would go out drinking with the best of them, but the next day he'd be in the front of the runs, representing like that. So I think you have to be heroic in Paul Ince's mind to be a leader. Now, you talk about the story about Cry Wolf. He goes down, feigns injury, and gets up again. Goes down, feigns injury, get up again. And this is the one issue that Paul Ince said about him. He's always acting like a pansy. And a lot of fans say that as well. So it's the boy who cried wolf. This time, it really was an injury. And he became a hero because he moaned about it. He said, right, this is why we're saying it's a turning point. Right, I'll go to, forget that. Don't worry about me. I've got, I'm running around with one leg. I'll go to centre back and I'll be the hero. And this is why we're talking about it now. This is sometimes what it takes. You need people like stories. They like novels to say, oh, how you become a hero. You go, he was a frog and we kissed him. Now he comes to that's what we're seeing right now with Bruno. So rejoice, guys, because this is what it took. And he understands that as well. That's probably why. Do you imagine, look, as you said, I heard Mr. B say earlier, which really, I wanted to jump in, but let me be professional. He talked about the pressure of being captain, being too much from Harry Maguire. I don't think it's that affected his game too much. He was just playing in a poor side. And as a centre-back, you're always going to be,
Monday
in the spotlight.
Oh, please don't.
I don't think he's tripping that much.
Monday. Monday, he was passing the ball into his own net every game he played. He made a mistake. Monday, don't be blinking. Don't.
We're talking about epics and stories. That's a myth. You're writing a script here for Hollywood.
Monday,
because
you're gonna sit here barefaced and say to me it didn't affect. Stewart, please. You saw him live. Please, has he improved?
Harry Maguire.
Yeah, has Harry Maguire improved since he's
Mr. B? All right. Up until about 12 months ago, I was Harry Maguire's worst critic. Omondi knows this, and I'll tell you what, he's getting so much more respect from United fans now up there at Old Trafford. Even when he came on yesterday, I thought he was exceptional when he came on yesterday, and even Solskjaer said it on the overlap last week. Harry Maguire was the best leader in that Man United dressing room, and that's coming from Solskjaer. And you can't. There's no two ways about it. He is the leader, Harry Maguire.
Look at his face. See, when it comes to Solskjaer, anyway. So that's the point about. Look, Inter said it about what it represents to be. You have to be a hero and get the fans on side. And what he did yesterday was heroic because it's a story about him going back to centre back, a position where you have to be rough and tough and playing with one leg as well. It's a bit like the guy who broke his leg in the cup final and played on. You know, he'd forever be known. That'd be on his tombstone. And hopefully, well, not hopefully, but one day Bruno, like Mark Robbins, will remembered for saving Fergie. Bruno remembered for the guy like Steven Gerrard played right back. Bruno can play anywhere. You know, he's Portuguese, he's Latin, he plays anywhere. Bruno Fernandes. You can make up a song.
What a cameo performance, Monday. I'm gonna come back to some of these things, but we need to do the comments.
And Anthony, please.
We're coming to Anthony. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All right. Bath Time remembers stuff. He does. He remembers to come back to Anthony. Right. Mr. B is right about Bruno's form, and the lad deserves some time to relieve some stress. But the man is inspirational with his mentality to keep trying no matter what people say about him. Why are you advertising the United stand? Because I was talking to it about a friend of mine earlier, and I wasn't particularly nice about it. Right, Andrew, here we go. I think he's a shit captain and was shit yesterday, both as a player and a captain. A true captain would have got hold of Minor yesterday and told him to do the job we needed out of him, not to leave him to blow his wad and have his tongue lolling after 40 minutes in terms of the energy that he had. And there's no doubt that we looked a bit fatigued towards the end of the first half. We can maybe come back and address those. Man United versus Chelsea final. I'd bite my leg off, your leg off, Mr. B's leg off, anyone's leg off for that. All right, here's Emma. To be fair, I think it's more about the whole team than just the captain. We need support all round, on and off the pitch. And one thing that came to mind when you were talking about Paul Ince there on Monday is that we do have quite a lot of captains in the team. Like Victor Lindelof is the Swedish captain, Casemiro is the Brazilian captain, Bruno and Maguire are vice captains, or certainly for their country. Scott McTominay is a vice captain for Scotland, and Anana, I think, might have been a vice captain for Cameroon before he fought with everyone. So it's not. So we do have a lot of sort of leaders in the team. And speaking of Harry Maguire, get ready on Monday. I think Harry Maguire is the worst captain since that clown that sank the Concordia, and yet he actually brought leadership when he came onto the pitch. And actually, that's what I want to get to. We'll get to some. We'll get to some more comment. We'll get to some more comments in a second. But to continue with sort of heroic performances, Stewart, Garnacho's brother revealed yesterday that Garnacho had only been able to train a couple of times last week because of a pulled hamstring, or a strain in his hamstring. Bruno has said that both Lindelof and Maguire weren't really 100% fit, and that Maguire only came on because it was absolutely necessary, and that he probably shouldn't have come on. Did we see a team that was playing for the fans and the manager and the badge yesterday, like going through the pain barrier?
In stages, I wouldn't say for the whole 120 minutes, Bath time, no.
Okay.
Even though we went 1-0 up, 9-10 minutes, whatever it was, it wasn't. The first half was a bit of non-event. I know there was 3 goals and whatever. But no.
No.
No, I'd say no. I'd say no.
Okay.
Even though we beat Liverpool 4-3, which is great, everyone says, "Oh, we've turned the corner again." No, we haven't. We haven't. Sorry, burst the bubble, but we haven't.
I wasn't expecting this, Mr. Ten Hag. I thought that there would be more rampant positivity. Mr. B, you did the watch along. What did you think of the effort, the performance, and the willing to sacrifice themselves from our players?
I had the sound down and I wasn't at the game, so I watched it in the comfort of my front room. I'm still stunned at what the performances that they put in. I'm not going to say that we are I think we've turned the corner in regards to the players now believing in whatever Ten Hag tells them to do, they're going to do. And I think that's an important part. Once you've got the players on side, all of them, I think it makes the job easier. Maybe I still think he probably has a few doubters, but that would have galvanized the whole squad. If Ten Hag tells them to go outside now and jump over the fence like pigs, they'll do it. I don't know why I said that. I don't know why that came into my head.
That's what you do.
It just.
I'll just say one thing, sorry, Bartholomew,
Yeah.
quickly. Speaking about effort yesterday, Alejandro Garnacho, absolutely incredible. And as usual, Rashford was the whipping boy yesterday. He was getting loads of abuse up there. You know, effing get him off. He's this, he's that. And it's true. Garnacho will lose the ball, track back, which most players do. But Rashford's still not doing it. He's so lethargical, and that's what gets players' backs up. You want to see players playing for this badge, not walking around on 500 grand a week. Oh, I've lost the ball. Here, go and win it back. You need players playing for the badge like we had all those years ago. And Garnacho.
Stuart, sorry.
Sorry.
You said that like you can see the players' backs getting up with Rashford. Do you see
Fans.
that? All right, fans, not players.
And players. Bruno was losing it with Rashford several times yesterday.
Like, do you remember like what sort of point in the game?
No, it's too many. Honestly, it's too many.
Is that a regular thing?
It's regular. It's all the time. You know,
No, Bruno moaning. Bruno moaning.
Bruno, yeah. But I'm not gonna. You know, I know I've slagged players off in the past, but I'm getting told long in the tooth now. I won't do it anymore. Yeah, you know, you pay your money to go and watch the game, and all you want to see is effort. If we would have lost 6-0, 6-1, well, but you know, you just want to see effort. You want to see players playing for the badge. These youngsters, Garnacho, Kobe Minu, players like this. You know, that's showing. So I know they're young kids, but Rashford's still young. What is he? 25,
26.
26.
But he just shows no effort, and he's got so much there. I mean, he should have had 4 goals yesterday. There's no two ways about it. But there you go.
All right, Omondi, you've heard a lot of stuff. Let's hear your reaction to it.
Yeah. About what are you talking about?
Anything that you've heard. You've been sitting there patiently.
Well, I'm listening to what you're saying about Rashford, and it's like if you want someone so honest, you're going to speak to Stewart. Stewart is an honest guy. He's not afraid to change his opinion. He doesn't hold grudges by halftime, and he doesn't. You know, he's not afraid to change his opinion about how he feels about a player and everything else. What you said about Rashford, I think that stands true. We've spoken about Rashford so many times on this show. Obviously, he gets a lot of glory. He scored the goal in the end, but what's crucial is we talk about work ethic. We had to match a Liverpool who, by halftime, you've been saying for the last couple of weeks about how they managed to perform at that level.
They are juiced off their tits.
Juiced off their tits. I love that one. You should get a T-shirt. I want to get a T-shirt with juiced off their tits on it. Because by halftime, that quote, it stays with me, and we've felt it this a long time. The way Liverpool, you know, engage in a game of football, you have to match that for one. And what we did yesterday, we did match that all around the pitch. I know Stewart was there, but for the majority of the time, we did enough. And I watched the first half, as you know, recently. It's fresh in my mind. I watched it at work. Don't tell anyone. I was supposed to be working, but I had to watch it. And I did feel that Kobe was outstanding, and he was blowing up. And I was feeling sorry for him because I've been in games where I felt like I'm having an anxiety attack when I was younger. I was fit, I was strong, but I'm playing against good level players, you know, maybe a county game or a district game or something like that. And it's like, oh my God. And I remember wheezing because I know I have to go there. I have to be there. And I've watching Kobe and I felt sorry for him because I think you're covering all this area and you've got your little legs and you're getting about the pitch and you're focused and you're keeping that poker face. But I felt for him. He had to come. I remember one time he came over to the left and then he had to shuffle back over to the right and he had to get close to the guy. He just popped it off. So he ran all that way to get to him. What's the right thing to do? But the guy just popped off. Then he's like, right, I've got to run over there now. And I felt so sorry for him. I thought, are you going to have an asthma attack? You know, do you have to ask one of the Liverpool players for a pump or something, you know, to get back on side? So it was a great effort. That's something that stood out for me, a great effort from all the players. And when you're watching players like Garnacho and Kobe putting it in, I think Garnacho, I'm surprised to stay on the pitch for 120 minutes. You know, all the guys that did that and still had, you know, at the end to run up the pitch on the counter and supply Ahmad with the goal. And you talk about when to give the ball up. bath time in eye test. He did it at the right time. He didn't give it early. He waited for the defender to engage. Still, as tired as you are, you still got that concentration to do the right thing and make the right decision. So we're seeing players like Kobe and Garnacho stand out, and that game will be the making of them. It's like boys to men. Coming to the end of the road in the FA Cup. That's FA Cup. That's Liverpool. Yeah, that's Liverpool. But Motown Philly back again, and that's the FA Cup is back again. We've done it, and that is the making of a man playing a game like that and coming through it. When you blow in and you remember the memory of the 5-0, it's like Rocky 3, for example. Columberland comes and knocks you out, and you think, "Oh my God, you have these memories." Eye of the Tiger, Eye of the Tiger. We had the Eye of the Tiger yesterday. Came back, knocked out Clubberland, which are Liverpool, our fiercest rival. Knocked them out cold, and done it for Mickey.
Quite an apt metaphor, because like in Rocky 3, doesn't he go and train at a really bad gym? Essentially, it doesn't have the great equipment and stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what they did, Mr. V. Went to Carrington training. The cliff. They went back to the cliff.
All right, we're going to do some comments, and then I want to talk a little bit about Harry Maguire before we talk about Anthony, if that's okay. Right, Emma is saying you get a lot more respect when you keep your mouth shut, not getting the attention on yourself and not blaming everyone else, which is talking about Bruno. He played well, Maguire. This is the issue with so-called fans. You back the team no matter what, Mr. B. Our fridge freezer Harry has been defrosted and is now working properly, winning all our headers and our new emergency centre forward. And we've got Pranay saying the media is so powerful in today's world. Omondi, I knew you were going to nod at that. So it takes a lot of mental resilience to block all the criticism and negative comments. Proud of Maguire to see him return strong. Andrew has written us an essay about Kobe Mainu. I'll look at it, Andrew. I share some of your concerns. I've been reading them, but it's not. This isn't a tactical show tonight. Pranay saying Garnacho's never give up character was fantastic to watch and makes us proud to have them at our club. And Emma said, no, I'm talking about Maguire. So I apologise, Emma, but we're going to talk about Maguire now. I thought yesterday Harry Maguire was magnificent as essentially the only central defender for about 40 minutes. Stewart, talk to me about what you saw yesterday from your seat at Old Trafford.
Leadership skills. From the moment Harry Maguire came on yesterday, he was showing probably more leadership skills than what Bruno should be doing at the moment.
And the guy's got so much passion. He's the first one to go to the fans at the end of the game. A bit like Dallo. Dallo shows a lot of passion as well, which I like about him. Really like about him, Diogo Dallo. But yeah, Harry Maguire was exceptional yesterday. And anyone who says different, well, sorry.
All right, Mr. B, I know you haven't always been Harry's biggest fan, but what did you see from him yesterday? Has anything changed for you?
Yeah, it changed. It changed as soon as he came back from injury. My thing is this: if you're a professional footballer, do professional footballer things. I've got man who do Harry Maguire passes play for me on a Saturday, and I don't pick them. So, as a professional, you should understand that you're not supposed to do these things and make these mistakes and make these errors. The errors are gone. There was a stage where you're thinking, oh, God, right, he's going to make an error this game. No, he's going to make an error this game. And after about 4 or 5 games, and you start seeing him winning all of these headers, he's now winning the ball in front of the defender, the forward that he's followed the whole way to the halfway line. But he's actually making a tackle. He's not fouling them. He's not wrestling them, throwing them on the floor, and then having to run all the way back, looking over his shoulder, hoping that Mo Salah's not going to fly straight past him when he's out of position. So I think as I said, I just think that him not having the captaincy has made a big difference. But mentally wise, I think he's the strongest player in the whole team, because he was getting battered.
Yeah.
And the fact that he just kept on going, he kept on going. I mean, you can't fault his attitude. You can't fault his his willingness to want to play for Manchester United and win something for Manchester United, more importantly. And I think if he had, as I said, I just think the captain again. It just goes back to, I think the captaincy sucks the life out of players, and the fact that he's showing that, you know, he's had that. He's been through the bad times. Not saying it's good times at the moment, but when Harry Maguire comes on now, I have no problem. You know, you expect him. You know what his job is. There's going to be certain games where he might play over Varane, or he might, but you'll understand why. He wins every single header defensively. All right, I would love him to do what he was doing for Leicester and scoring more the other end, but the ball goes in the box, he's winning it. There was a stage yesterday, I said it yesterday to BATHTIME, where the ball just seemed to be up in the air for 4 or 5 minutes, and out of the 15 headers that were there, I think he won, like, he felt like he won 12 of them. So yeah, fair play to Harry Maguire. I'll hold up my hand. Fair play to him.
He did make one error yesterday, but wing, where he didn't quite deliver across to Rashford. It was bizarre seeing him in that situation. Stewart, have you got something to say before I?
No, I was just going to say that was the only thing. There was one.
I think it was just inside the box, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He looped it up in the air, and yeah, everyone started abusing poor old Harry again. But it's just.
I mean, to be fair, some things that you should be told that you're an idiot for, and that left-footed cross was dreadful. And it's not often I can tell a Premier League player that I would produce better in that situation, but I would. Omondi, Harry Maguire yesterday in extra time.
He's sitting forward. Look, Omondi's sitting forward.
He played like he was Godzilla smashing up Tokyo. Like Van Dijk was running away from him. He was appearing here, there, and everywhere. At one point, he was like the greatest centre forward I've ever seen. At another, he was like heading. You could have thrown like a Toyota at him, and he'd have just headed it out. Like it was. I thought it was a magnificent performance from Harry. So I'm interested to see what lengths you're going to describe it now.
Well, what you just described is welcome to Harry's world. This is exactly what he does week in, week out. Mr. B is amazed that he's winning headers every week. Yesterday, he wins. This is what he does. This is standard. But because people overlook, where is Paul Ince again in this interview? It's a really good interview. He said that the difference between Liverpool and Man United is there's expectation. At Man United, the expectation is bigger. This is why he thinks Man United maybe is a bigger club, because remember the Spice Boys at Liverpool? The expectation, he went there, the expectation wasn't there. He had to teach them leadership again and how to be winners and that kind of thing. And that's the culture of the club. At Man United, the spotlight is on you. No matter who you are, you go there, it can destroy you. We look at, he gave example of Wilfred Zaha, who's one of the most talented players, from Crystal Palace. He came up here and he couldn't make it. So Mr. B talked about the mental fortitude of someone like Harry Maguire, to what he's been through, to still come through and be heroic yesterday and do it for a cause. He could have left with all the abuse he's had. He could have folded like a deck chair, but he's decided to stand up. Not a deck chair, I won't go there. But he's decided to stand up and take it and turn people around. That's the biggest compliment I can say to him. He's turned fans around, like Stewart, like other fans that have been disrespecting him. Hey, look at the comments saying what a wonderful performance he put in yesterday. Even BATHTIME saying that as well. So I think the whole thing with Harry Maguire is watch his game, watch what he does. He's not trying to perform badly. He's got good range of passing. He wins all his headers. He's a top international player. England have been to the World Cup semi-final, first time since 1990 in 2018. Then in the Euros, they walked to a final. First time they've been in the final since 1966. Harry Maguire was the centre back in both those campaigns. He's not a bad. You don't make a bad player overnight. It's just a spotlight. It's on Man United and on every player. And when he's getting grilled, you get like Mr. B. We're gonna bump heads tonight. Unfortunately, I haven't got a head like Harry Maguire, so you might win. But it's like what I'm saying to you here is, Mr. B, you're talking about his passing range. You're talking about him being a captain and folding. He's playing better now. You're happy because he's coming off the bench. Eric Ten Hag scrapped him. He put him on the bench, and you're not seeing him play week in, week out like we used to, because then someone else needs to get the blame. Then we need to criticize someone else for the mistakes that we're getting, and no one else is doing that. Harry Maguire has got a symbol on his head which says, attack me, I can take it, and we know he can take it. If he's turned around tomorrow and said, I'll get depression, I can't take it, people would be sympathetic with him. But for some reason,
No, they wouldn't.
Yes, they would.
Is he mad?
They would.
No, they wouldn't. He'd get killed.
For some reason, he's the slabhead, he's the joke, he's the big-headed guy, he looks goofy, all this kind of thing. People just give him hell. Even imagine your own team, when you play away from home, the advantage is that the away fans will be on your back. But you come to your own home ground and play your own team, so your own fans are on your back because you're Harry Maguire, and everyone's laughing at you at work, everyone's laughing at you at school, everyone's dissing you about Harry Maguire. Get behind the man and appreciate the talents that he has. What he showed yesterday is a little sample, all right, that he's got heart, he's got character. Is he onside? You need to wear these stripes, Harry Maguire. You need to get his name on your back, Mr. B. Give it to your son as well, a new shirt. Tony, if you want shirts, come see Tony, no doubt about it. And start believing. It's not just about skills, step overs, everything else. It's about big, booming headers, big leadership skills. You could write a whole story about how he's gone from the dead and revitalized himself and come back to life again. He was buried not so long ago, bruv. We have to admit this on the show. He was dead and buried. We didn't care if he stayed or went in the summer. Oh, why don't you just leave? And now look, we're talking a 5-10 minute segment on how courageous and how masterful he was coming in and leading a group of men into the semi-final of the FA Cup. Well done, Harry Maguire.
To be fair, Monday, we have a 5-minute segment on Maguire basically any time you're on the show. Mr. B, you've heard a lot of propaganda and a homily there. What have you got to say?
Look, me and Monday will always disagree. If you're playing shit, you deserve to be told you're playing shit, and he was playing shit. All of the fans told him, the media told him. Southgate didn't tell him mind, and maybe that was the one that kept him going. The fact that Southgate had belief in him, because Ten Hag didn't. He was gone. Let's be honest, he was gone. He showed his worth. He showed his worth this season. But look, if we could replace Harry Maguire with Todibo, are you doing it this season? Yes or no?
Not for me.
Ooh.
I like Maguire. I've always liked Maguire. I wanted him to stay in the summer because I thought a ball playing goalkeeper would be good for him. And I think that I think it's a bit crazy that this season him and Johnny Evans have been our best centre backs. If you're saying swap Todibo for Varane, I'm 100% with you. Swap him for Lindelof.
Right. Okay. So why Varane? I mean, everybody said he's injury prone. Ain't Varane played 12 games in a row?
Yeah, but I'll tell you why Varane. Because Varane has come with an enormous reputation, which is thoroughly deserved off his trophy cabinet. Can you tell me, in the 2 seasons he's been at Man United, he's been the standout centre back in either of them? Okay. Stewart? No. I thought Varane was a bit of a problem in the first half yesterday on the ball. I don't think that all right, I'm going to take Rasmus out of this because Rasmus is coming back from injury. But when you look to all the players who put their body, heart and soul on the line yesterday, Varane is the one that stands out to me that wasn't completely committed to the club the way an inferior player, say, like Lindelof or Aaron Wan-Bissaka was. I don't think Varane... I think he lacks in some... I think he's a good defender, but I think he lacks on the ball. But ever since he's been at the club, I've really doubted his heart. And I can't say that about
Are
Harry
you serious?
Yep, 100%. Stuart?
I wouldn't say 100%, but I totally get where you're coming from, BATHTIME. But yeah, I don't know. He's quite a quiet character, isn't he? He just gets through the game. He's no, unlike Alessandro Martinez, who shows so much passion.
Yeah.
But I think that's an Argentinian thing, isn't it? But totally get where you're coming from there, BATHTIME. Totally get that.
Ramos and Pepe, I think, are the sort of players that you need next to someone like Varane. But I think that he's shown this season he's only really top grade when he's next to Martinez, and I think that Evans and Maguire have been better than him this season. And that's... But look, we're ignoring the comments, and we've still got the big Anthony thing to come. Right, double A. Many Man United fans, including myself, thought Liverpool would do us over with their kids, but instead we did it with our young ballers. I thought they were going to absolutely smash us, I can't lie. No, Bruno's a good captain. Andy, Maguire was definitely a leader yesterday. Could even see him shouting to people. And then Lucky Singh, my favourite, is saying that, look, Lucky Singh doesn't like Maguire, but he wants Maguire in for Brentford. And that is a huge sign of respect from Lucky Singh. Rajat, absolutely mental to see Bruno at centre-back, Anthony playing left-back. Weird, we have to get used to that now. No, we don't have to get used to that now, Rajat. And here's a good point from Emma Kay, who's always pretty level-headed. When Maguire stepped away from doing interviews and kept his head down, he actually improved. That earns a bit of respect. Like, there's been a lot of media silence from Maguire this season, and he's just gone out and done his talking on the pitch, which I like. I can't believe this. Lucky Singh also wants McTominay in for Brentford. Casemiro's not going to be in. Andrew doesn't rate him as top class, but never had that much problem with him as a player. It's the captain. And Maguire, as much as it hurts him to say, is one of our top 3 players this season. Lucky Singh, I wanted Harry to come on, get physical from the bench. That's fine. Ooh, we got a new person, Chalaba, my posse. Perfectly pronounced. The criticism. I'm sure you'll all agree. It's lovely to see you, Chalava. Don't mind these 2 clowns laughing away. The criticism Harry got was over the top and disgraceful. You never treat a human like that. And I think it's a good point that Omondi made, because like when you get criticism on social media, to be perfectly frank, just turn your phone off. Like, it's not like that film The Ring, where like someone's, like someone with a Martial avatar is going to come out of your phone and start saying that you're useless. But what happened was, it was like Arsenal. I remember Arsenal away when the fans were jeering at him and things like that. That's when I felt it, that the kind of movement had gone too far. And brilliant, Harry's turned it around. Rob, I've just been on a Liverpool fans TikTok live. Ugh. And they're saying it's nothing that we knock them out because they won't win the league. Just because they won't win. Oh, shut up. Not you, Rob, the Scouser.
Yeah.
And we got Stephanie saying 17 likes. Yeah, Stephanie. Stephanie's also bringing up what happened in Greece. And I'm sorry, I was listening too much to our gents here. All right, Shabala, what have you got for me? Delo has been rocking for time. He is the one who is adaptable and can follow instruction. He's East's most trusted player. Delo is player of the season. He is also our best defensive midfielder by some way. Do you know what, Chalaba? I think this week we're going to give like player ratings and see who's player of the season so far, and I'm inclined to agree with you. That's where I would go. Rob is saying I'm not a Scouser. We know you're not a Scouser, Rob. We know you're not a Scouser. We'd never label you with that. Right. Just before we get on to Anthony, I just quickly want to ask Stewart what he thought of McTominay's performance. Does he deserve any extra credit for the same way Bruno did?
I'd say so, yeah. I mean,
McTominay still gets so much abuse at the games, you wouldn't believe it, poor fella. And he's still a top scorer this season, isn't he?
Equal,
yeah. So
he gets abused at the games.
He gets so much abuse. A lot.
It's mainly the hardcore Manx who I don't know. There's something not right there. But him and Rashford again will get a lot of abuse yesterday. Take them off, effing this, effing that. Yeah, but I like McTominay. There was a period about 12 to 18 months ago. Maguire and McTominay were getting so much abuse off myself.
We remember.
Yeah, but it's totally changed now. And McTominay is another one. He's got so much passion. You know, he's a United fan. He loves the club. So we've just got to start getting behind these players, I think.
All right. Well, this is kind of my point, because like when I saw McTominay injure himself, like it reminded me of Javi Mascherano, who once ripped his arse open for Argentina trying to block a ball. Like McTominay did something similar but missed a goal. And I saw something on Twitter today. This is the Anthony stuff, where like at the beginning of extra time, all the players are sort of talking to Ten Hag. They're all talking to each other. Anthony was just wandering around telling people that he was playing at left back, waving his arms up in the air, until Rashford grabbed him by the nape of his neck and shoved him away and told him to just go and effing play. And for me, this has marked my card with Anthony, because there were heroes out there going through the pain barrier, doing everything. And Anthony at at extra time, when we're all getting together to sort of like be as one as a team and go and fight, was whinging that he had to play in a different position. I'm absolutely disgusted to see that from a Manchester United player, especially when Maguire, McTominay and Bruno are half, like, you know, they're not even 50% fit, that they should be in the treatment room. So I want to start with you, Mr. B. Am I going over the top?
Yes, bath time. I think you are. I think you are. Look, I hadn't heard that. I did hear obviously the story, but I've got the explanation now. I understand what you're saying, but maybe he felt because he had scored the goal. I'm going to take it this was after he had scored, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume that maybe he thought that he was going to be able to maybe get the winner somewhere else, or maybe help in that part of the pitch. But I don't know. I'm torn on that one. I don't think it. Oh God, I don't know.
Have a think,
Yeah.
and I'll ask Stewart. Did you see any of that, or have you seen the clip from Twitter?
I've not seen it. I'm not going to lie to you. I've not seen
Nothing about that bath time.
All right, what's your initial reaction to hearing Anthony whinging to his fellow teammates about having to play left back?
Disgraceful, to be honest.
You play. At the end of the day, you're playing for Man United. If you need to fill in to do a favour, you fill in. Don't moan. Go and do it. But he's not the first. He won't be the last player to have a moan up, will he? So.
What annoyed me, Stuart, is his goal celebration is showing the badge, kissing the badge, pointing at it, and then when he's asked to sacrifice himself for the badge, I mean, I don't know.
He's not going to be in next season by the time, anyway. And
yeah, well, if I were the manager, Stuart, and I saw him doing that, like I bear a grudge, and that would be straight into Darius's big book of grudges, like doing that. Omondi, as a manager under pressure in real life at the moment, how would you react? How would you react to a show of dissent like that?
I'm going to hold a grudge against you, Stevie. Karen. Look, I'm just going to say this. You can't take characters out of the game. There's always going to be characters who I think he's the winner. I think he wants to win. I don't think there's any issue like that. The reason why I think he's going off about playing left back, and he should have been animated about it, but he's like, damn, you know, he's like, he wants to be the hero. The reason he reacted like that with the badge, kissing the badge when he scored, because he realizes the pressure that we're talking about on this show with players like Maguire, they've been through all this thing, they want to turn it around. Someone's got a character reference on this guy and said, maybe Ten Hag has said, this is the guy you need because he's got a lot of character. He's a winner. Yeah, and I don't see it as a negative so much by half time. Obviously, I need to see it more. You just tell us now. It doesn't sound too good, and you make a good argument. But I think you're playing devil's advocate here because I think deep down, you know, having played in Latin America and with the characters there, you need characters like that. He's a passionate guy. He wants to turn it around. It's not. I know he understands the team, but he wants to turn it around to show the atmosphere. He's feeling the atmosphere. He hears Stewart, you know, getting all excited during the game. He hears all these fans going off. It's an arena. It's the time. It's the time to represent and step up. And he wanted to do that after the goal. He's probably out of his mind, you know, and buzzing inside. He's probably never had that feeling of that ever. And it's retribution time. So to play at left back, he's thinking, oh man. And he wants to show the fans and everyone here, all the audience, that I'm disappointed. I want to do more. Not I want to do less or I don't want to do it. He's probably thinking, I want to do more for the team by playing up there. Damn, I'm disappointed. And he's also, as well, there's a little hint for me that he's showing that he's damn, just in case he makes a mistake, to say, oh, if they went on to lose the game with him playing left back and he's made a mistake, with the pressure playing left back and not, you know, knowing the position so well, he could be saying, see, I didn't want to play in his position anyway. Do you see what I'm saying? The pressure. This is what we're saying. It's a melting pot. Playing for Man United, there's so many things going on at the time. So I will forgive him on this one, bath time, until we maybe investigate a bit further. But
right.
you do make a good point. I think I balanced that with a decent point as well.
I got a little bit more to it. Like, he's been quoted by a Brazilian outlet, and remember, he would have given these quotes in Portuguese. They can always be twisted, but I'm not a fan of saying, "I've been working hard. I've really stood out in training, and that's the result of my hard work." Like, that's a little bit too sort of self-centered and egotistical, I think, for a team. He's like, I will find a way of getting the clip put on the Man United agenda Twitter, and we'll see it. But it's not encouraging to me. But we'll just do the comments because we're going to have to wrap up shortly. Right. First of all, Rob is just making it very clear that he doesn't want to associate with Scousers. All right. It's nothing personal. It's just who he is. I agree with you, Rob. Stephanie. Oh my God, Steph. Watch McTee for Liverpool's goals, marking no one as usual, just the space. I mean, we've had this argument until we're blue in the face, but space is more dangerous than a man. If you want to know who's at fault for the Liverpool goals, you're looking at Varane, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and Rashford. I'm not a fan of Scott. I will never doubt his commitment, though. And then this is a much better one, Steph. Anthony just needs a Cleopatra. I like that. All right, Andrew is saying, "Were you on the pitch, Darius?" I wasn't, but I'll send you the video, Andrew. It's very clear. Like it's very clear what is happening. This isn't massive speculation from me. Surely Ten Hag would have had him at left back in training since he's playing him there. Shouldn't be a shock. Well, Emma, maybe this is a conversation for a different day because we're running on. But in terms of Ten Hag subs, I am of the impression that Ten Hag put the players out on the pitch that he trusted to have effort and work rate and do things. And for once, he let the players essentially just organize themselves and go and do it. I think that he just got his best lieutenants, his best people out on the pitch, and that there was no plan to have Anthony, Dalot, Maguire and Bruno as a back four for extra time. Like, I just can't see how. And also Maguire was like, he was a bit like Dion Dublin. Sometimes he was centre back, sometimes he was centre forward. Just depends what was going on. Exactly, Bartholomew. This is in relation to Anthony. And hello, Lucky Vid. Hello, Subvids. I hope you're doing well. Body language is a pseudoscience. You don't know what was said, dude. I'll send you the clip, Andrew. It is pretty conclusive. Lucky Singh is saying, if you won't play the position, you can't do them things. I agreed. He doesn't seem to be a team player, Anthony. He works very hard for the team. Ten Hag has his Ajax lieutenants, Onana, Anthony, Martinez. Anthony is going nowhere. I wish our players and our manager wouldn't speak to the press. Muted. I agree. Ten Hag needs to put in a straitjacket, nowhere near a microphone after a loss. But is there anything else, Mr. B, Stewart, or Omondi, that you would like to bring up for this evening?
Well, yeah, let me just say this. Look, FA Cup, we're in the semi-final. Top four, Tottenham lost 3-0 to Fulham at the weekend. We've got to be optimistic. And we're going, I don't want to be on the Man United agenda, sitting in mid-table, out of all the cups, and, just doing stupid shows talking about Mark Robbins saving the job, back in 1999, all these sort of retro shows or whatever. I'm glad that we've got something positive to talk about now. Thankfully, we're at Wembley very soon, and everyone piling over to Mr. B's mum's house. And top four. I mean, look, Villa, inconsistent. They're in the Europa League. Spurs. I mean, who knows what an achievement that would be? And like I say, people are fickle. Fans are fickle. A season's a long time. In November, we were talking a load of shit about certain players. Now we're talking the complete opposite about certain players and managers. And hopefully by the end of the season, when everything sort of balances up with injuries, with different sides, everything else, everyone has their bad luck. This is how season pans out. Hopefully the league never lies. And at the end of the season, wherever we end up, I think we deserve it. And I think right now, with the momentum we've got, after what happened yesterday, we're here to talk about one game and the whole show. with the momentum we've got, I believe, and that's accepting something's true without evidence, that we can do it. Top 4 and get to the final of the FA Cup.
All right. Well, the president of the United States has just turned up on Monday, Mr. POTUS, and he said, "What a win on the weekend." Although I still think Ten Hag needs to go. I don't like his attitude, his style of managing, and we've no identity on the pitch. So don't worry, people are still, people aren't that fickle. We've got Emma saying he just doesn't try out something new until he's tried it on the in training enough. Emma, I really can't see how that was the plan, to have Anthony at left back, Bruno at centre back. Like, I understand what you mean, but this is why I think he just put his best players, he put players he trusted out and let them solve the problem. It's not unusual in football to do that, to be honest. Like, just to put players on the pitch and ask them to solve a problem. And is there anything else here? Rob is saying, I actually don't think Liverpool let us off. I think his tactics confused Klopp. It's a debatable one. Andrew is saying, I think Liverpool worked hard to get back in the game and to go and win it. Then we got it to 2-2. The legs were playing the price. I'll tell you what happened, Andrew, is that he put on a couple of players that were too young to be juiced up, and they weren't able to cope. And that Stephen Bradley, or whatever he's called, the right back, who's going to be a great player, absolutely dreadful game. Look at his defending against Delo, against Ahmad and and Garnacho. Dreadful, absolutely dreadful. Because they did like Ahmad and Diallo. Sorry, Ahmad and Garnacho executed that 1-2 that they were trying to do awfully. But it was the defending that let us in. And then Yale's turned up late, saying Heath eliminated the Hollywood pass and got to play both Mount and Bruno in the same team by having Bruno become a defender. That's normally something you would think was written by some kind of like AI or something, but that's actually what happened in the football match. Bruno went to centre back. Okay, so I think we're going to end it here because we've done an hour and 10 minutes. First of all, I'd like to thank our special guest, Stewart, so much for coming on and giving us really good insight into what's going on at Old Trafford.
Stuart.
Brilliant, Stewart.
Cheers, guys. Always a pleasure.
And then it's these two. It's Mr. B and Omondi. Thanks, lads.
Thank
Well
you.
hosted. Well hosted, well done, man. You did good.
All right. Omondi, are we back tomorrow for a quiz?
Yeah, you got tomorrow with a quiz. Got a new contestant lining up to try and beat Stuart's score of 10.
All right. So if you like quizzes, is it 9 o'clock tomorrow?
Yeah, be 9 o'clock tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for spending your time with us. And I'll try and get that clip of Anthony on our Twitter account soon. Good night, everyone.
Good night.